Hello everyone, today is the 16th of April 2025 and this is the Just Dario Daily. The title of today's daily is Nvidia's artificial empire is now crumbling. The dominoes are now falling with brutal efficiency. In one devastating week, the US government severed Nvidia China's revenue artery, while TSMC plunged a 30% cost dagger into its margins. This isn't coincidence, it's causation. I have warned since 2024 that Nvidia's AI supremacy was a carefully crafted mirage. The H20 ban, with only a roughly $5 billion write-offs loss announced by the company as a consequence, proves what I exposed for years. The last time in the article, the Nvidia fake AI narrative is officially over. That their China strategy was always a shell game. TSMC's price hike confirmed what I addressed in The Real Era of AI Begins, the one of the AI charlatan ends, about shifting power dynamics. Together, they exposed the ugly truth. Nvidia's record margins weren't won through innovation, but through supply manipulation and geopolitical gambling. The math is now unforgiving. China's 25% revenue share vanishes into thin air, exactly as production costs skyrocket. The quote-unquote grow engines that analysts worshipped was really a house of cards built on artificial scarcity and export loopholes. And Nvidia has no moves left. Furthermore, it is naive not to expect US regulators to take a closer look at Nvidia's international operations. These will likely end in a steep fine for breaching US export control rules for years. What comes next will be brutal. Earnings guidance will implode. Inventories will balloon. Lawsuits will multiply. Because when your business model depends on everyone playing along, such as regulators, suppliers, and investors, the collapse is spectacular when they stop. The consequences are immediate and severe. China represented approximately 25% of Nvidia's official data center revenues, a revenue stream that has now evaporated without warning. More troubling is Nvidia's apparent lack of contingency planning. No alternative markets exist at a sufficient scale to compensate for this sudden shortfall, while the company, like a broken record, kept claiming they had quote-unquote overwhelming demand and we're dealing with quote-unquote tight supply. In many articles, I exposed the artificial nature of Nvidia's record sales, which were sustained not by genuine demand but through carefully orchestrated supply constraints and accounting shenanigans. The coming inventory glut will lay bare this discrepancy, as warehouses fill with products that no longer have a market. The strategic implications extend far beyond quarterly earnings. This episode reveals fundamental flaws in Nvidia's business model, an over-reliance on geopolitical maneuvering rather than technological differentiation. Market observers now face serious questions. How will Nvidia explain this strategic miscalculation to shareholders? What valuation adjustment will be necessary when artificial scarcity can no longer prop up margins? And most critically, does Nvidia possess the innovative capacity to survive in a market that increasingly values genuine technological advancement over financial engineering? The reckoning has arrived. The only uncertainty is how deep the damage will go. Now, watch as the market learns what we have known for years, that Nvidia's throne was made of paper and the storm has arrived. Just as Nvidia reels from the China export ban, TSMC has delivered a devastating second blow, a 30% price increase for US fab production that will eviscerate Nvidia's already precarious margins. The mathematics are brutal. Nvidia now faces catastrophic cost inflation from its sole supplier while simultaneously losing 25% of its data center revenue. Nvidia's predicament reveals an uncomfortable truth. After years of dictating terms to the supply chain, the company will now be at the mercy of TSMC's pricing power. With no alternative manufacturing options and dwindling revenue streams, Nvidia's much-touted gross margins, already inflated by artificial scarcity and accounting shenanigans, face imminent collapse. As I revealed in the article, Nvidia managers know lawsuits are coming and are preparing to defend themselves. Company leadership has been preparing legal defenses for precisely this scenario. The reason is clear. The combination of evaporating China revenue and TSMC's pricing power creates an earnings disaster that even Nvidia's aggressive accounting cannot conceal. Nvidia just issued its first profit warning, a scenario accurately predicted 4 months ago in the Countdown to Nvidia Profit Warning article. More damningly, the US export ban exposes Nvidia's dangerous dependence on regulatory arbitrage, inviting both shareholders' litigation and regulatory scrutiny, as highlighted in the paragraph above. Nvidia now faces its existential crisis. In the short term, expect violent earnings revision as $7 to $10 billion in annual revenue disappears overnight while production costs skyrocket. In the long term, prepare for the fundamental valuation reset as markets finally recognize that Nvidia's quote-unquote AI dominance was built on geopolitical arbitrage and supply chain manipulation rather than durable competitive advantages. The only remaining question is now how far the stock must fall before reaching equilibrium with reality. And frankly, whether Nvidia can survive the landing. Thanks a lot for listening to my podcast again today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. That it helps with the algorithm. Thanks a lot again for following me on X and your great support through the years when I was talking about all the things that I warned today, but not only people were not listening to me, but I was overwhelmed with non-believers, with people like contesting all my claims and sometimes people even insulting. Thanks a lot for reading through my articles, commenting on them on justdario.com, and always helping me to improve my research with all your precious comments that I received so far in a very long time, through an effort that I kept sustaining in order to do my best to warn everyone and to limit as much as possible everyone's losses and to open as many eyes as possible to this matter before it was too late. I wish everyone a great day and talk soon.